that don't even look like homes anymore. It's a story that we're going to be following for a long time as people try to bounce back after this devastating hurricane. And we've had at least a dozen deaths reported associated with Michael in Central America, also a couple of deaths here in the U.S. We hope, fingers crossed, that that number does not climb, because officials are still out there trying to pull people from the rubble.
Total of 5, they
after this
said.
Devastating hurricane. So thank you for joining us here on the AccuWeather Network. We continue our coverage around the clock after Michael made landfall. It's now a tropical storm, and it's still causing a lot of problems. You can see that we do have a tornado watch in place for at least 9 o'clock tonight. A couple of the counties no longer under that threat for severe weather. However, Richmond, Virginia Beach, you still have to watch out for that severe weather. And it's not just severe weather. Take a look at this video from North Carolina. This is in Boone, North Carolina, where people have been dealing with a whole lot of flooding today. So I know we've also had some problems around Roanoke. Some water rescues have to be performed today. So always remember, turn around, don't drown. We see way too many lives lost from people that try to drive through flooded roadways. And we can take you into Charlotte, North Carolina now at UNC. And you can see we've got the dark clouds. And if we go to our radar right now, this is pretty fascinating. We're dealing with rain, heavy rainfall from South Carolina all the way up toward Canada right now. And
We've got thunder.
The system continue to work its way
and a little bit of rain
north and east. You can still kind of make out the center of circulation there. And look at all of those flash flood warnings that are blinking. I mentioned Roanoke, Danville. You're also dealing with some problems out toward the Appalachians there. Also some very heavy rain. And our highest rainfall reports coming in that Jeff is going to touch on, a lot of them are coming in from North Carolina. We have flash flood watches in addition to those flash flood warnings. So make sure you're staying with us here on the AccuWeather Network. And I want to bring Jeff in, because you have the numbers for the rain.
I do. There's a lot of flash flood warnings on that one graphic that you showed there. And you can see the mountainous terrain of western North Carolina has been hit hardest so far when it comes to the rainfall, as we talked about sometimes that upslope. There's upslope effects as the air is forced upwards into the atmosphere, kind of ascending along the mountainsides. And that leads to quite a bit of rain in situations like these, upwards of almost 10 inches now at Black Mountain. We've seen some video of some high water there, obviously. But down into Florida and parts of southwest Georgia, we've had some extreme problems because of wind. And we do want to bring in Stephen Hartsook. And Stephen, we talked to you yesterday associated with your efforts with the Salvation Army. You're fighting a great fight to try to help people who have been greatly affected by this. So how are things going today, and what kind of a need have you seen arise?
Hey, thanks, Jeff. So today things are going a little bit better than yesterday in that we're actually able to begin deploying resources and personnel into the impacted area. Up until this morning, the only Salvation Army personnel that we had in the Panama City area and the Tallahassee area were our own Salvation Army officers that are stationed in those communities, and our employees and volunteers and the like. And of course, they all had to hunker down and be safe throughout the storm. So now today we're starting to get personnel into those areas, emergency disaster services, mobile feeding units, incident management teams, and they're starting to do some assessments to determine how it is that we're going to be able to stand up and help those impacted by this horrific storm. Tallahassee is a little bit more accessible, and we'll probably get things ramped up there a little bit quicker than in Panama City, just in terms of being able to make access into the impacted area.
And Stephen, we have a graphic that shows what people can do if they would like to help, but is the greatest need monetary donations, or are you looking for people to actually provide supplies?
Yeah, so right now, Jeff, monetary donations are the best way to support the Salvation Army's relief efforts. That helps us to secure what is exactly needed efficiently and effectively, and to get it into those communities. In addition to that, after the response is over, after we get past meeting these immediate needs of feeding and clothing and providing for these individuals in this time of next few days and few weeks with just their life-sustaining support, then we begin to look at what can we do as the long road of recovery begins. And the way that the Salvation Army is able to help is through financial resources into that recovery phase.
All right, Stephen, you're fighting a great fight. We appreciate what you do for those in need. and we hope to talk to you sometime shortly down the road. So here you can see the information. You've had plenty of time to see that. We do want to give you a little update on the storm location and where it is moving. We are still dealing with a tropical storm on our hands, now more than 24 hours after landfall. It's moving rapidly to the northeast at 23 miles per hour. Still seeing some pretty good convection, strong convection, and lots of heavy rain on the north and northwest side. And Brittany showed you the radar in great detail earlier, but you can still see we have ways to go before the center of the storm actually makes its way offshore. And we're dealing with still some strong winds. Here are the current gusts, and the strongest of the wind is generally into the mountains, and then on the north and east side, and especially also near the coast in Wilmington, North Carolina, we have a 47-mile-per-hour gust. And we're going to continue to see gusts into that ballpark, 40 to 60, over the next 6 hours or so, and even longer than that into the night, into the area on the Chesapeake Bay. We want to go into one of those windier spots near Wilmington as we go to Wrightsville Beach. Andy Coates. Andy, you have a mess behind you tied to the flooding associated with Florence. What is the flavor of life there right now today?
This is the exact path where Hurricane Florence went over, and you can see the entire neighborhood behind me just covered in damage. The house right here is still boarded up from Hurricane Florence, as a matter of fact. The wind has been steady, lots of gusts, but not sustained strong winds so far. No rain so far in Wrightsville Beach here, but people are afraid, obviously, of what's going to happen when that rain starts and all this stuff starts to get pushed down the road and these tarps start to come off of homes and the rain just comes back in through the ceiling again and causes this kind of damage and this kind of mold and people to restart their lives. Here's some stuff I shot earlier with the drone. That's a tarp over a church, actually, right here in Wrightsville Beach. This is what's really concerning to people, is that these tarps come off, these roofs are already in unsafe condition, and that's how they got the flooding in this side before. So right now, we're just kind of sitting and waiting, as we have been all morning, of what's going to come next.
Okay, Andy. Well, I appreciate your update. We will be checking back in with you in a bit. We're short on time at this point, so we will check back in within the next hour or two. As we move forward here, we do expect Futurecast to continue to show heavy rain across parts of northern North Carolina into southeastern Virginia. And again, it is kind of nice to see limited rainfall down where Andy is located. Heavier rain to the north into Richmond, but those winds are going to be strong with those accelerated wind gusts over 40, 45 miles per hour at times on the southeast side. May even see isolated tornadoes still too as that watch continues. Stay with us. We will have more.
All right, guys. God bless you. Thank you for watching. You guys are awesome.
Experiencing fatigue.
Let me get rid of that. We don't need noise. God bless. Thank you for watching. You guys are awesome.